Brandon Marshall was on the Herd today. Said something very interesting about your man, Aaron Rodgers. Here he is.
They should have won 2 Super Bowls in the last 5 years. To me, Aaron Rodgers is my favorite quarterback in the NFL. But you wasted this guy's career. You got 1 Super Bowl out of Aaron Rodgers? Are you kidding me? It's too late. It's too late.
All right, Rob, go ahead.
I don't think Brandon Marshall's crazy with his take on what the Packers were doing and how they did their business, Chris. They also won with the way, remember, they never went after free agents. They always drafted. At one point, which was unbelievable, Chris, and I thought it was, because they were always in the mix. But at one point, their entire roster, they had only one player on the team that, Chris, wasn't drafted by them. Who does that?
Right.
Every player was drafted by them. They had no outsiders. It was incestualist. Is that the right word? You know what I mean?
Incestualist? I don't think that's a word.
Yeah, I don't know,
right
but you
word.
know what I mean.
Incestuous.
Incestuous. Thank you.
I'm not sure if that's the right concept.
But I know what you mean. You know what I'm saying. Like they didn't go out and do that, and and especially when you talk about maybe spending money and bringing in defensive players, especially.
Right.
Because obviously during his prime and his numbers, Chris, and MVPs and his seasons that he's had, he was able to get that franchise on the cusp. There was the onside kick. And obviously, if they secured that, they probably would have gone to the second Super Bowl. And, of course, the tight end mishandled it, and Seattle got the ball back, and they wound up losing that game. And then the other part, when we talk about the defense, is Aaron, in 5 of Aaron's playoff losses, the defense has given up 38 or more points. I mean, I don't know who can win in a postseason when your defense is giving up that amount of points.
Well, I mean, Tom Brady could do that. But.
No, Tom Brady can't because he lost when they did that. Right? That's the Philly game, so don't give me that. He lost.
No, he could win. He won enough.
He's
won more playoff games with I'm talking about giving up 28 or more than any other quarterback.
I'll get somebody to look it up. How many teams have won games when their defense gave up 38 points and in the playoffs? And I guarantee you the number's low. But anyway, when you start to look at all those things, his point is legit. That there could have been other things done. They were close. They made the playoffs a lot. They won the division. They were in NFC championship games. There were all kinds of situations there. So it's not like that's why they kept doing what they were doing, because it seemed like, oh, well, it's working. We won the division again. We made the playoffs 10 out of 11 or 12 years in a row. And we've done this and we've done that. But they couldn't finish the deal in those big playoff games against better teams. And I think that's what really, when you take a look at his career as a whole, that's what sunk him oftentimes. I can't remember what the number is, Chris, but there's 3 games where he tied the score and never got the ball back because the defense gave it up. And those games where they lost. So, and it's not to make any excuses. His record is what it is.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, could they have done more for Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay? Absolutely.
Look, any objective observer would have to agree with Brandon Marshall. And I believe from 2010 to 2016, they signed 2 free agents. 2 free agents in 6 years. That's ridiculous. And that was their modus operandi, Rob. And I don't know if you were saying everything you wanted to say, but the way you said it to me gives them a pass, because I think they were just happy being good. They got the great fan base. They know the fans are going to be there. The fans are engaged because they're so good. And I think they were happy with that. Hey, and if we get a Super Bowl, great. I'm sure everybody, of course, wants one, but they were too content with just being a playoff team, a contender every year, having arguably the best quarterback in the league. And they didn't go out and expand on it and make the team better. So that point, I think that's indisputable. My thing is this, though. Aaron Rodgers is not blameless. So, yes, they should have made the defense better. Yes, they could have gotten him, more weapons at times. But he's still in many cases did not deliver, and typically in the NFC title games. He's 1-3 in NFC championship games. And the game he won, he didn't play well. When they beat Chicago in 2010, he threw 2 interceptions and no touchdowns. And here's the thing.
You got the scores on the 3 losses in the NFC championship game?
One, they lost. They beat Chicago 21-14.
Okay.
They lost to Seattle 28-22 in overtime. And so, that's 28 points. You got to be able to overcome that.
That's the onside kick. Go ahead.
Now, Atlanta, that's the game in 2016. They were just smashed 44-21. But and I'll give you that. Obviously, the defense didn't do anything. But Rodgers didn't do anything either in the first half. They were down 24-0 at halftime. It was similar to what happened this year against San Francisco. You look at the numbers at the end of the game. You look at the final score, 37-20. You can say, look how many points the defense gave up. He did nothing when the game was in the balance. He did nothing. Then in the second half, same thing happened against Atlanta. Second half, he starts racking up the numbers, padding the stats, as you would say, and it makes the score look better. It makes his stats look a little better, and then you can blame it on the defense. But when I know you watch those games, he didn't deliver in the first half, and neither did the defense, but Aaron didn't either. And here's the thing, Rob.
You also play when you fall behind and your defense can't stop anybody, just put you in a tougher spot. That's not to say.
Yeah, but you're not behind from the get-go. I'm saying is he is not blameless, and the defense is to blame, but he's also to blame.
But if you were to look at the two in the room, Chris, there's no way you can look at a defense that's given up 38 or more points in 5 playoff losses and act as if it has nothing that Aaron Rodgers has more to do with that.
I just said that. No, I'm saying the defense is not an all-time great defense. He is an all-time great quarterback. He has not. Look, Rob, this is a guy that has more than a 4-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio in his regular season career. In 4 NFC title games, he is 1-3. He's thrown 6 touchdowns and 7 picks. I mean, that is totally against what Aaron Rodgers does. He's got a career passer rating of 102.4. In the 4 NFC title games, it's 78. So, again, you're right. The defense has been whack. The front office didn't build around him the way they should have. But he also did not deliver in those huge games. It's not all on the defense.
I think most of it is on the defense. I don't think if when you look at the difference between what kind of defense Tom Brady's had, and I'm just going to use the comparison that Tom Brady's always been in a situation, Chris, where it's easier to play. If you go look at some of those comebacks you're always talking about Tom Brady, the defense pitched a shutout in the second half. That's the difference.
What about
when
the
they
first
beat,
half?
No, when they beat, no, hear me out.
Don't give me a
when
half
they beat
you gonna give me a
Atlanta,
half on
when it's
Rodgers.
20, Tom Brady played terrible. It was 28-3. He was able to come back because the defense was stingy in the second half. They didn't give up anything, Chris.
He still had to score the points. Stop it, Rob.
No, they didn't give up anything.
Admit it.
In the second half.
I'm admitting that Rodgers' defense wasn't up to snuff. But you're going to sit here and exonerate what I just told you about Rodgers' performance? That's not objective.
I'm telling you that if I have to pick one thing on why they didn't win more Super Bowls,
one thing.
I'm telling you, pick one thing, Chris. Is it Aaron Rodgers or is it the defense? Well, I'm asking you.
Hold on.
I'm asking you.
If it's Aaron Rodgers, because at the end of the day, you have to stand up for your record. And here's why. And you do the same thing. If it's not Aaron Rodgers, then why isn't he in the GOAT conversation?
Because you got to win more than that, Chris.
Then,
and all I'm saying to you is that makes no sense.
Defense,
wait a minute. They were in Seattle, and the tight end muffs an onside kick to go to the Super Bowl. You're going to blame that on Aaron Rodgers? Come on, Chris.
If you're not blaming it on him, then put him in the GOAT conversation.
That's ridiculous.
Put him in the GOAT conversation then.
You got to win more to be in the GOAT conversation.
All right. That's all I'm saying.
No, but I'm asking you about that game. A mishandle of an onside kick?
That's one game, Rob.
But you're talking about it.
And
then Atlanta, where the defense couldn't stop Matt Ryan.
When he couldn't score?
But they couldn't stop stop
circles
him.
around him.
It
Matt
had nothing
Ryan
to do with
outplayed
Aaron
him by
Rodgers.
10 steps that
You're
game.
crazy.
He did. Aaron Rodgers did nothing when the game was in the balance. And then it was over and Atlanta's playing prevent and he racks up numbers. Same thing, same exact thing happened
Is that what
a
he
few
did?
months
Is that
ago.
what he did when he beat Pittsburgh to win the Super Bowl? Did you watch
way
that?
back in 2010?
Did you watch that?
Oh, that's how far
How
back
many?
you gotta
Ask Dan
go.
Marino. Ask
That's
Dan
how
Marino
far
for
back
all
you
the
gotta
numbers
go.
he has.
Just admit
What
it.
about his Super Bowl? I'm
I can
asking
admit-
you.
I
He's
can
won
admit that his
MVPs, Chris. He has the greatest quarterback
And-
rating in the history of the
Not
NFL.
in the NFC title games.
I'm
That's for
telling you,
darn
in the
sure.
NFL history, he does. And his biggest Achilles heel is that he's never had the defense. If he had a
And he
top 10
didn't deliver
defense,
in the
he
NFC
would have
title.
been. He
Then
would have
put
won
him in
3
the
or
GOAT
4 Super
conversation.
Bowls.
Then put him in the GOAT conversation. Back up your words. Put your money where your mouth is. You keep ranting and raving about how he's blameless. Put him in the GOAT
I
conversation.
didn't say he
then.
was
Make an
blameless, but you're
argument
trying
for
to
him.
make. You're making
That's
the point.
all I'm saying is he.
About
what did I start off
to
saying?
overlook the defense and act like
I'm
well,
not.
when you're in
I
a hole,
started
Chris,
my rant
when you're in a
off.
hole and they know you have to throw on every down, it's a totally different ball game. That's why you can't afford to fall behind. It changes the way they play you defensively. Come on, man. You know
Rob.
football better than that.
Rob, I started out my rant by saying any objective observer would agree with Brandon Marshall. I never said the defense wasn't the issue. All I said is Rodgers is not blameless. And you act like those holes, he didn't have anything to do with it. This game a few months ago against San Francisco, same exact thing. He was to blame largely for that hole. He turned the ball over and all that. Then in the second half, you're right. The defense played differently. They backed up. They went prevent, and he racks up numbers. He is an all-time great quarterback. I'm not saying that. You act like I'm trying to say he's a scrub. All I'm saying is he is not blameless. That's it. And you want to argue that?
All day I'm going to argue because
That
I
he's
think-
not blameless?
I didn't say he wasn't blameless, but I just think if you're really honest and you take Aaron Rodgers and you give him that Patriots defense, Chris, he would have
Look,
won.
I'm not living in Wonderland. I'm not living in Wonderland.
Because he would have
I'm
won.
not.
He would have won more Super Bowls than Tom Brady.
Fine. You
given
want to
that.
live in fantasy land? Go
No,
ahead.
it's not fantasy.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
just
living
giving
in
you the
reality.
reality.
I'm debating what has happened. Golly, if Bill Russell was 7-2, he might have had 30 championships. I mean, come on. Is that where we going? And like I said, if this is how you feel, put him in the GOAT conversation.